It's the final day of competition, and this is it. Who will be crowned the Bahamas Young Chef? I'm Anthea Ferguson, your host, and today 5 more students bring the heat to the kitchen. And now, without further ado, let's introduce our esteemed judges. Today's tasting judges are Chef Celeste Smith, who this time is in Eleuthera at the Preston H. Aubrey High School, and Chief Chef Gerald Roll, who is in Grand Bahama. Our in-studio judges today are Chef Michael Adderley, Chef Addie Mae Farrington, Chef Joel Johnson, Chef Clement Williams, and Chef Hazel Roll. And you know the rules. All students have to create 1 flour dish and 1 rice dish using products from the competition sponsors, Mahatma Rice and Robin Hood Flour. 2 precious hours are on the clock to complete. And now, let's meet our final competitors. As you know, the pandemic forced last year's competition to be postponed, so young chefs like 12th grader Tashay Brown from the North Eleuthera High School is back in the kitchen today to complete what she started 1 year ago. Today, she'll be preparing a Bahamian tropical flan, which she describes as a 3-layered amber color flavored dish made with a ginger and guava caramel passion fruit flan and a banana coconut pound cake, and something she calls in the bush, which is a locally inspired dish by the natural vegetation of the island of Eleuthera. This rice dish is made using coconut flakes and an array of local ground vegetables such as cabbage, bell peppers, carrots, and onions. Also in the senior division is 10th grader Kristen Ingram from the Preston H. Aubrey High School, creating her Granny's Tropical Rice Passion with a dill-infused rice crumble served with a warm fruit medley and sea grape berry sauce. And her flour dish is quite interesting. She'll be making old-time herbed pigeon, lobster, and peacock dumplings served with a curry, red pepper, and mango sauce. And junior competitor for Preston H. Aubrey is 8th grader Timberly Morley, and her dish is a Bahamian mash served with fever grass herbal roasted pigeon and smoked pickled pumpkin leaf melody with onion rings and beet sauce. For her flour dish, she'll present to the judges her hog plum, cassava, and sweet potato upside down cake with a sea grape and hog plum granola alongside a sea grape soup and pumpkin soup. And 11th grader Renaya White from Jack Hayward Senior High School will be preparing what she calls the Neptune Waffle Feast and a tropical sushi donut. 28th annual competitor and 11th grader Danae Gibson from the Sister Mary Patricia Russell School has on her menu a crispy cilantro rice ball paired with autumn pumpkin stuffed with spicy steamed mutton and a mango salsa with a tropical aioli, and for her second dish, a coconut tart with meringue and fever grass curd. And this is it. This final round of the cook-off begins. Throughout this competition, we've seen these young chefs really bring their talents and skills to the kitchen using products and techniques that have wowed our judges. As these final competitors go head-to-head in the kitchen, we're well on the way to crowning the Bahamas' best young chefs. Let's check in to see how the competition is heating up.
She is seasoning her pigeon with some homemade herb spice that she blended with, and she's wrapping it with some fever grass leaves.
Chef, what's her name?
Is it possible
Chef,
she could give her secret spice?
It says Timberly Morley.
Is it possible Timberly Morley could give us a rundown, itemize what's in her secret spice?
My fever grass oil, my rosemary, my fresh basil, my fresh thyme, my fresh spinach thyme, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, so just basically a mix of Spanish thyme, rosemary, fever grass leaves, a little bit of oil, and some pepper.
Thank you.
It's going a little Asian on that. Well, we're still looking at indigenous products. From what I saw from Ms. Molly, I hope those pigeons are really Eleuthera pigeons. Chef Clam, you could let me know. I'm not from Eleuthera, so you can let me know that's a Eleuthera pigeon.
What I told the chef told Chef Hazel, let's pigeon.
Yeah, as soon as he said it.
Because I sling enough of them down with slingshot.
They ain't sound like they're too big then.
They small.
You can eat
They look like bucket. They even in big. Yeah, they look big. They,
tobacco now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tobacco.
Well, from Miss Molly's perspective, she's using fever grass with a pigeon. And so that's going a little more Asian because they use a whole lot of fever grass or what they call lemongrass in Asia. I see she's using hog plum cassava sweet potato in a flour dish. So that's native. So hog plum, a lot of persons really don't know what that is right up and now because you don't see a lot of it. It comes out in late September and probably is gone by the end of November.
She also has another fascinating item, another smoked pickled pumpkin leaf. I've never never heard that before. Smoked pickled pumpkin leaf. That should be.
There goes the plum. So Celeste might be bringing those back for you, chef. See the plum, chef?
Oh, yeah.
Bring some back now. So they know stand this with them.
I guess because they're on the family of island, they have more restriction on how to package and bottle from the cottage industry.
Yeah.
So you will see them packaging more and bottling more from the Lucha side, and islands would have abundance because some islands right now doesn't have that much.
And one of the biggest things our judges have mentioned throughout this competition is that they love the confidence and authority with which our young chefs display in the kitchen. From their knife skills to their choice of ingredients and even their presentation, they've been saying all along that the kids are shining like real professionals.
Well, once you have confidence in the kitchen, one thing it does, it shows in your food because you're much more relaxed, and then you already have a good idea of what you're doing because you've practiced it before you came into the kitchen. And then the confidence, it also gives us chef a good sense of security because it means now you have some idea how to handle your knife, how to have your kitchen etiquette in terms of the way you do things in the kitchen. So we might not have to go to the first aid kit as often, or maybe not at all.
Yeah.
And plus, confidence also works for you within yourself. That means you know you're working within a time frame. You have each of your items itemized in terms of how many minutes you're going to spend on each item, the layout of each item. So that goes a long way in your confidence in the kitchen, especially time-wise, knowing the magnitude of this type of competition that you're in.
I know one thing for sure. The less afraid you are of your knife, the better it is for you. Because if you're scared you can get cut, you're going to get cut.
Yeah.
100%.
And when you think about it,
If you think about getting cut,
you're gonna get cut.
It happened to me. It happened to me on the tour like a month ago. I was just talking to the guests about how to properly hold your knife because you don't want to get cut. While I was talking though,
Why is it that?
my hand
That's
slipped
what's
and I got
happened
cut.
too.
And over in Grand Bahama, Chef Gerald updates us on how Donnae Gibson is coming along.
Chef, did you take a look at Ms. Gibson? She is now putting her veg into the pot for her rice, and she also has some mutton that she is cooking off here.
Now, is it imported mutton or homegrown?
Oh, back
So
here.
now, tell the chefs where you got your mutton from.
I'm pretty sure I got this one from the store.
Full store.
The chef want to know where you got the mutton from, because they want to know if your daddy or your granny butchered that in the back of the yard last night.
No, sir, no, sir.
Yeah, because he just had a sale for Chef Mike and myself, from Chef Mike and me.
That's what we just want to make sure. But that's good.
And it seems Chef Clem has some questions for one of our competitors over there in Eleuthera.
Chef Smith in Eleuthera. I see something is going into a mold,
That's gold pepper.
pastry mold.
She has going on is she's making a upside down cake, and she's basically using the bottom as our substitute. With pineapple, she's using hog plum.
Wow. So it's a whole plum upside down cake. Wow, that's interesting. Very
Very
interesting.
interesting.
So we have Miss
They make fun of
Ingram. She's making her dough now for her dumplings, and she basically infused it with pesto, but her
So I say
base
that.
was
I was looking.
flour.
amazing thing is the interesting thing for Eleuthera, I think Eleuthera would have had more Asian influence than any other family island.
I'm impressed with
I'm
that,
impressed with that because I even see that she has her instruments, her tools, her small tools and equipment for the steamed dumplings. So it's going to be very interesting. Celeste Smith, seems like you're in the right place for your Bahamian infusions.
And what I love about in here so far is that a lot of local indigenous Bahamian ingredients are being used. And that's something that what we strive for in the competition. So I'm really excited about this. And I even see some sea grape puree over here.
What I also want to commend too is I noticed that they don't have an excess of anything. You know, it's like
Everything labeled.
they had it thought out, you know, the right amount, maybe a little more than you need, but I don't see that excess like what we've been seeing, you know, through some of the competition. So that's also great too. It helps in helping you to produce your product much better because when you get 3 pounds of flour and you only need 4 ounces, you tend to use a pound of flour, you know, because you know you have so much. But
But that mutton looked very
Look
tender.
Yeah, that look tender.
So
Sorry, what was this mutton pre-cooked at home?
Thank you.
Okay, so the mutton was pre-cooked at home for 30 minutes before bringing it.
Thank you.
Finish it off in the kitchen, so that's why the mutton looks pretty tender. And it actually is. Everything on it.
That's why I say 2 hours and you want to cook your own boiled mutton.
Yeah.
We've got mutton, sea grape puree, grilled veggies, and pigeon. Our young chefs are truly leaving nothing to chance this lap, and it looks like everyone is bringing their A game. We've seen some pretty creative meals throughout this competition, so I don't know how the judges will do it, but they will have a really tough job choosing a winner.
So I really want you all to take a look at this student.
Yeah.
She's really into her cuts. I mean, she's
Yes, we watching that.
I don't know if she's blind and she need glasses, but she's right down in there, so she's really focused. Trust me, she really is.
The cassava sweet potato upside down cake.
I think she knocked that out first.
So she has the rice now simmering on the pot. What's inside? Bahamian made stock. So she has some crab fat with some local Bahamian made stock. What's inside the stock?
Molly.
Miss Molly.
Crawfish, one crab bodies, and fat. My favorite grass and a lot of herbs and vegetables.
Okay.
They like their favorite grass.
But yeah. It really
And the
a
pigeons,
lot of it inside the lucha.
the pigeons are in the oven or they are in the refrigerator?
They can take a good hour, eh?
And the refrigerator,
That's what the
marinating for a little bit.
And with 38 minutes gone in this round, the clock is definitely winding down as we slowly near the hour mark.
Miss Morley's, what she's doing now is quite interesting. She made a granola mix with hot plum and sea grape, and she uses whole wheat flour. See, and
It looks pretty.
Yeah,
It's interesting to see that.
yeah, that's and the color.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah,
That can be nice.
canola.
You say Miss White is making some kind of mixture?
Donut.
Waffle.
Waffle? Okay. Oh, yes.
No, chicken.
I know you're not a proper type of guy, so.
No, I actually did this about 6 years ago
What? Where?
with me and Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy here.
Serious.
They're using different ingredients now. If you could
Listen, I sure when Miss White is finished with this waffle bar up, it can taste better than yours.
Oh, flip.
okay.
you got a second on that, chef.
Mike is speechless.
I'm not going to say anything. You the taster.
And you know, it's not too often you can leave Mike speechless.
Trust me, I have my confidence in Faith and all, and Miss Gibson that they're gonna do an excellent job.
And how's Peacock for another surprise ingredient?
Miss Ingram, her filling for the dumpling is very interesting. She has the lobster, pigeon, and what was and peacock.
And peacock, yeah.
Jesus.
And,
I know.
Hold on,
and
peacock.
cream cheese.
The
Bird.
Yeah, the bird.
where you find the peacock?
They be flying everywhere.
You sure it's peacock?
That's
So
legal.
that's you saw it before they kill it? Yeah.
I don't want industrial garden people start looking for you.
What?
She killed them. That's the pet.
Anybody ever had peacock?
No?
No.
Yeah, I never had it either, so this should be
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely one of those dishes that our in-studio judges really wish they could sample. And if I'm being honest, me too.
What I am preparing right now is a cilantro aioli. What I just did was I poured the olive oil in slow for the emulsion. What the oil did is it act as a thickener to thicken the egg to make a mayonnaise almost.
There you go.
Wow,
Wow, interesting.
interesting.
I'm fascinated on their skills and their infusions of flavors and their time management. And one of them went into very great details, and she has not missed one snippet right to her stalk. So we are really looking at them. The coaches has done a very good job with them. Now it's only them now to execute all the stuff that they say they're doing. We've seen some interesting stuff, and then even Chef Michael Adley saw Deja Vu with his waffles. And we'd like you to make sure to take a photo and send that back, just a waffle for us. Yes? And I'm fascinated with the peacock.
For my pumpkin rice, what I'm doing is I added in an egg and cheese to act as a binding agent, so when I form it, it sticks together and doesn't break apart.
Ilucho Grand Bahama, you have exactly 25 more minutes. 25 minutes. 25 minutes.
And there you have it, our very important time check. 25 minutes left on the clock. And now it's crunch time.
What's supposed to happen with that?
That's Ingram.
She's supposed to put that in hot oil and let that sit.
Yeah.
And when she comes, she's supposed to dip it in.
Let the oil get
dip
too
it in
cold
a
now.
certain point,
Yeah.
and then put it back
Tuck
in
in
the fryer.
and let it drop.
Just let it drop off, but you need a spatula to
Click it off.
get it off.
So she have a tool. The tool is not appropriate for what she really need.
I mean, she had the
Good
first,
idea.
she had the first set cut off. It's just like she letting the oil get too cold now.
Just the hog plum.
Upside
That's the
down,
hog
yeah.
plum upside down. That look a little better in the thing.
I want to know how
That's the hog plum upside down cake, and then the actual cake is with cassava and sweet potato.
That's a granola.
That's a crunch. That's a crunch there,
base, yeah.
right?
Granola with the
The crunch is
cannoli.
That's a granola, eh?
Canola with sea grapes.
so it's a soft granola, and it's with the whole wheat flour, seed break, and
And now we see dishes being plated, and the judges are getting excited to see how these menus and recipes will all come together.
Ask her how much for that dish.
Michael priced it for.
That's it. Select,
$500.
select someone.
I don't blame you. Don't sell yourself cheap.
Why
This
not?
is a very, no, I'm very impressed with that dish. So, Chef Clem, how does pigeon taste?
Like
I know-
Cornish hen.
Like what?
Cornish hen.
Chef?
Like Cornish hen is a
hen, oh.
mild bird.
Similar like Cornish, but
Yeah, have
Okay, yeah, I had quail.
quail, yeah.
yeah, Cornish hen tastes really like.
It milder than quail though.
But it has a stronger flavor than the chicken, and it has a more 80, because they wild.
Is it tough in any way?
No, it must be no.
Look.
Oh, nice.
Dion used to be cooking them out there, he clam, and he kill them, pick them, click, get a little grass, I'm thinking, man, clean.
Does it?
And some wows from the judges as our young chefs wrap up their meals.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Mm.
Stop it.
Okay.
Color.
See, great.
Color.
Yeah.
It almost looks like sherbet though.
It look good.
Yeah.
It look good, trust me.
The only thing is too much.
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
plate.
I'd say that.
I might say there's too much sauce.
Wow.
And that's a nice size too.
There you go.
Nice price.
Lovely piping. Hand-free, no stencil.
No stencil.
If you
Time's up. It's 12:20.
And with that, we're ready for tasting and dish presentations.
My name is Kristen Ingram. I attend Preston Aubrey High School. Today, I prepared an old-time herbal dumpling with a red pepper and mango sauce. And for my next dish, I did a Granny's tropical rice passion with a dilly-infused rice crumble. That's the crumble. It's the crust at the bottom.
Tasting judge Chef Celeste digs into the pigeon, lobster, and peacock dumpling first.
The sauce is good. It's a cold sauce. I taste the herbs and spices infused.
Mm-hmm.
How was the dumpling? How's the texture of the dumpling?
Trying it right now. The texture is really good.
The filling?
Rolled out the dough at the right level, and the filling is really good. It's a little bit dry, but once you eat it with the sauce, it's good.
How the peacock taste?
She don't even know she peacock.
You won't notice it 'cause it's combined with everything, but it tastes really nice.
It looks nice.
So how does the red cabbage fit in? Does the combination or?
The combination, it works really well. Like I said, the dumpling, the filling was a little bit dry, but once you eat it with the curry, it has that nice creamy texture. And she rolled out the dough at the right level so it isn't too thick.
Okay, that's nice.
So you could easily do it, and it was really good.
What's the green? What's the green? What's the green cross?
Look like
What's the green garnish?
What's the green garnish? The cross.
Fever grass.
Oh,
Trying
that
the
looks-
dessert.
Oh, that look nice and smooth.
It look good.
Yeah.
Sea grape sauce is really nice.
Yeah. There's a nice texture.
How's the texture?
Texture is very good.
Can you taste the dilly?
Taste the dilly
I
flavor.
taste more how dilly isn't so pungent.
Yeah.
I'm tasting more the mango and the topping, the compote more than anything else.
Yeah,
But
mango. Yeah.
good. So the dilly gets hidden in the overall dish. The wafer very crunchy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, we hate it from
And it's really good too because she sprinkled a little bit of salt on top, so you have that balance of
Okay,
sweet.
like a salted flavor.
Really nice.
Tell me, both of those. I mean, from Chef Smith, from here, especially on the seafood, the ravioli. I noticed from here it really has a great presentation, but is the sauce? I know it's thick, but it's not broken or anything, right? Is there any breakage in the sauce, or just nice and plain?
No, it's not. It's the right texture and consistency.
Okay, that's great.
What?
And I
What?
like how it was cold. I don't know if that what she was going for, but it was a good pair with the dumpling because it was still hot.
Okay,
So
all right, good.
worked out really well.
All right, great.
name is Timberly Molly. I'm in 8th grade at Strawberry.
It's long.
This is my rice dish. On my entree, well, the two flours, the two rices I use is one my basmati rice and my Bahamian mash because it gives it a nutty flavor, and two my jasmine rice, which I manipulated and made it into flour for my salad. So on my entree is my Bahamian mash made with Bahamian stock, homemade Bahamian stock. In my Bahamian stock is my crawfish, my conch, my land crab fat, and my land crab bodies, and a lot of herbs and vegetables. On my dessert plate, I have my hog plum upside down, cassava, and sweet potato cake. What really inspired me with my cake is back in the day, cassava and sweet potato cake was very popular. So I decided I could use that and just fancy it up. And hog plum gives it a nice kick to it. For my granola is a hog plum and sea grape granola. It is nice and soft, just like my cake. And my two soups is my sea grape and my pumpkin soup. As you can see, the colors is purple and orange. One dark and one bright, and it goes well together.
How's the texture on the pigeon?
Very gamey, which is expected. I just taste a lot of the marinade, like a lot of balsamic, very overpowering.
You say balsamic?
Yeah, the vinegar, the marinade is
Yeah,
very
strong
very
flavors.
pungent.
Is it cooked tender?
No,
It is a
So it's a bit overcooked, in other words, then.
yes, chef.
less scared of that too.
Question. Should she have only used the breast?
Yeah, it's not really much meat on it.
Almost look like chimney.
Exactly, yeah.
But the texture of it is just too rubbery. I think it's overcooked and it's too pungent in the marinade what they made. That's really all that I taste.
When she put
I didn't marinate and I cooked that too. They start cooking it too.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there.
Besides those things, and I know pigeon is an
to break
acquired taste if you're not used to it, but how was the overall concept and the presentation and the taste when you combine it according to, to what you would have expected?
Overall, I think it's okay. I mean, I'm not too because of the texture of it. I think it's overcooked.
Yeah, I think so too.
And the marinated, the pumpkin leaves. I like the texture and the flavor of that. I really taste the brine mix in it as well. So it's a lot of, I think it's just like a lot of acidic ingredients because you have the brine mix from the pumpkin leaves and then you have the marinade from the pigeon.
Pigeon, yeah, it's a lot of
So
high.
it's a really acidic dish.
How the mash taste?
How is the mash? Okay.
It's pretty good. It has that texture to it. It's not, like a typical mash, but it has that texture which you would want. First impression, I think it's just too much
Sauce.
Yeah.
sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot too much.
And the granola is too thick.
No, I would prefer. I would prefer it be crunchier, man, than because when she said the granolas are soft as the cake, I didn't.
She might probably do it thick because if she do it thin, it might break. That might be one.
Yeah, well, there's that. But I mean, that dish would need a crunch though, because the sauce.
Even if she'd have
soft,
put that granola for a base, and then you break down to it instead of doing it.
crack, yeah, I could do
How is the grape The grape sauce and the pumpkin sauce.
Together, yeah. How is that?
Baby food tastes like baby food.
I like it. I like the flavor of it. I think it's just too much sauce and plate. The granola, even though it's soft, it still has a little bit of bite to it because without that, the dish has no texture.
Exactly.
So you don't want it to be super, the granola break off your teeth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish she just would do like a square base and put that at the bottom.
Yeah.
And
That makes sense.
nice because you can actually break through it with a spoon, but it still has that bite to it instead of using it for like decoration.
Yeah.
Okay, so last you eating the hog plum.
Yeah, how does the hog plum
taste
taste?
of that with that skin on?
It's nice. I like it. Even though it has the skin on it, it has a different texture, and the cake itself is very moist.
Okay.
My name is Tashay Brown, and today I made a rice dish is called In the Bush, and my flower dish is called a Bahamian tropical flan. Okay, I'm gonna be frank. Where I'm from Luther. I was born and raised here, and my grandparents, they were farmers. So if you come to Luther, you're not gonna see any farms right to the eye. You gotta walk bush and bush and bush to bush to get to where you need to go. So everything I used in my dish can be found on Luther and is locally grown. And I say it's called In the Bush because if you go to a farm, you find carrots, you're gonna find guava trees in our backyard, find passion fruit trees in our backyard, pineapple grows every summer. We know pineapple. So I believe my dishes represent my island.
Okay. Very nice.
Okay.
Okay. Inside my wrap is chicken, and then we have coconut jasmine rice with a mixture of different vegetables and fruits, pineapple to bring the sweet, and there's cayenne and goat pepper to bring the kick of spice. We have a sweet and sour ginger sauce that it lays on this is baby arugula and kale salad with a spiral carrot and an onion lemon vinaigrette.
Baby arugula.
For my flower dish, we have a Bahamian tropical flan. Inside, the caramel itself is guava and ginger. The guava and the ginger give it the pretty color. And then for the flan, we have mango and passion fruit. The mango and passion fruit really blends together, so you're gonna get the passion fruit first, and then you get the mango kick after. And for my cake, we have coconut and banana. And coconut and banana is a very native to my island. You can find coconut and banana trees everywhere. And for the chutney, pineapple. Pineapple is native to Luther. So I have pineapple and guava chunks for chutney.
All right, the In the Bush, the rice one, the taste of it, I like it. The spice, everything, is really good. The sauce is really good. The only issue I have is the portion size.
Yeah, I was
And
looking at
the
that.
actual phyllo dough itself could have been
Why they don't
cooked
cook their carrots?
longer.
Nobody's cooking.
When I actually prepared the phyllo dough, it should have been prepared differently in how they wrap it because it could have been cooked a little bit more, and it's too much.
Yeah.
But the filling inside, very nice, spicy, and then you have the complement of the sauce. It blended very well, and I liked it. The only problem, like I said, the portion size and the phyllo dough itself. But other than that, it was a really nice dish.
What about those
Carrots.
marinated vegetables? I mean,
It's just really, decoration, I guess, but like a simple side salad.
Oh, okay, salad.
Lemon vinaigrette.
Oh, okay. Okay, excellent.
All right, I'm gonna go to the flan.
Plant. Look more like a cheesecake mix.
Or light.
I don't know, you catch inside the, let's see.
Yeah. It ain't a basic flan what you used to.
No,
No,
it's a
not at all.
different. No, more.
You look for crustier crust.
Yeah, crust, yeah.
So it's something out the box. It wouldn't be the original flan.
Flan is just like a,
Especially on top.
it's just like a custard. A flan is
Yeah,
more like a baked
flan is
custard.
almost an encased crust. That's a deconstructed flan.
Because
It
when
don't
you
have
put
the
that
outer,
base,
it
right.
don't have the outer crust like what you used to.
No, flan don't have crust.
So how is the
The
outside?
one she talking about, this is the
outside
liquid one.
shell.
That She baked. This the liquid one she did.
Oh, she baked that straight through 100%.
Yeah, yeah, liquid. She
All right, the flan, I guess it's really a deconstructed version and of it. The taste of it for me is a bit too sweet,
Too sweet, you
with
see
the
that?
guava gel on top.
was-
Like
Yeah,
very
you can
thick,
see that.
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Very
that was heavy sweet.
I think, like a flan, the caramel, you turn it over, you know, that kind of
Right.
thing, you really didn't get that. It's
That's
just
what I'm
really,
looking at.
like a custard cake, but more or less cake, more than a custard.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's more cake than the actual custard. Let me taste the chutney. And then it has that spice to it, but it's still too sweet. Like everything,
Sweet.
Too sweet.
it's just full on sweet dish.
So we've got some feedback there for our Eleuthera contestants. Let's pop back over to Grand Bahama to see what flavors we've got there.
Good day. My name is Donna Gibson, and what I have prepared today, starting with my flour dish, is a coconut tart topped with meringue and fresh fruit, and a filling of a silvergrass curd. With my rice dish, I have prepared a pumpkin rice ball. It is filled with steamed mutton topped with a mango salsa and a cilantro aioli.
In your rice dish, I was looking for a more spicier, creamier sauce that you would put in your rice ball, which I didn't see. And on your recipe for your aioli, you didn't have any egg yolks. And for your meringue, the shell could have been a little bit harder, but then Chef Gerald will go over that. But overall, I think you did a very nice job. Your presentation was very nice.
Thank you, Chef.
But there's some things that Chef Gerald will go through with you, so that when you go through this again, you will have high expectations of what you're going to do next.
Yes, Chef.
Yes,
Gerald?
I think your overall presentation was really, really exceptional. I was just looking for, so when I look at the steamed mutton that you have on inside your booklet, I was hoping that just how that's cooked there with all of that sauce and everything, you would have taken of that and put that in your rice the same way, so that when you deep fry that, you know, all of that flavor, you know, like if you do a chocolate mocha cake, you see the chocolate on the outside, but when you cut into it, all of that nice flavor. That's what I was looking to see. And of course, I know the rice is the main dish, but because you're also showcasing the mutton, which is a local product, which is also good, and one of the, you know, we're looking for indigenous items. So I was just looking for a little more showcase on the mutton, and then that same, all of that nice, delicious sauce to scoop that up and put that in the rice to help enhance the flavor. But you know, that'll come later, and I'm sure Chef Gerald will say some more on that. But your presentation really was nice, and of course, looking to see a little more of the aioli, you know, to offset some of the rice, you know.
And now let's throw it to Renaya White for her dish presentation.
Good afternoon. My name is Renaya White. I am representing Jackiewood Senior High. This is my first time in the Young Chef competition.
But today I will be presenting. First, I would like to deal with the waffles. Sorry. I would like to present Neptune's Waffle Feast, which is waffle filled with herbs, lobster, which is topped with conch, which is topped with cracked conch, topped with salsa, microgreens, which is coated in pina colada vinaigrette and is dazzled in pumpkin sabayon sauce. And over here, I would like to present tropical sushi donut, which is rice molded in a donut form mixed with coconut milk with guava filling, with minced guava filling, and it is dazzled in 4 different types of sauce.
I just want to congratulate you, you know, and I'm going over the limb saying this, but it's really 2 of the better dish that we've seen, that I have seen. Let me speak for me. 2 of the better dish that I have seen throughout this whole competition. That doesn't say you'll either win, lose, or come draw, but that's just my personal opinion. But I love your poise in the kitchen, you know, for someone doing it the first time, you know, even we couldn't stop commenting on your professionalism, your knife cutting skills. Some point we became a little afraid because she was really cutting like a real professional, been doing it for many years. So, you know, we talked among ourselves, but you did everything right that was expected, you know, and even more for a first time competitor. And I must congratulate your coach, your chef, your teachers, whomever. They've put some really time into you because your dishes was real professional.
Thank you.
If I may say one thing, and that's with the sushi, you know, should have been 1 on the plate, and even the presentation would have even be that more spectacular because 1, but 2 makes the plate look a little bit crowded. So
big
as nice as it looked, 2 just was a little bit too much. But you're thinking outside the box. Only one thing we were a little bit disappointed though, you have so much stuff going on, but you didn't put it on the papers. So I don't know if you know, like the real chefs, them, you know, they'll tell you how to make a conch salad, but it has 12 ingredients, but they're going to give you 8. So I think that's what you were doing with us. You know, you kept those secrets to yourself. And nothing is wrong with that, but remember you're being judged. So whatever you got on the plate needs to be on the paper.
Yes, sir.
But I want to congratulate you. And be prepared. Come back next year for the 30th year where we're going to take it up 20 notches compared to what it is now. But what we've seen you done here today, I'm sure you'll be more than prepared to compete on the highest level. And then be prepared to be taken over by Chef Addie Mae, the professor at the University of the Bahamas, who's waiting on you right now. She taught you in the 12th grade. So,
Thank you.
She has more to say on that. I wouldn't want to say anything on the school.
Yes, I must say your knife skills was on point. The interesting thing also is that knife skills were on point, and you were cleaning as you go. So you one of them students. I don't have to worry about saying clean as you go because that's how we train. And the interesting thing is for you today also is to get your cue cards and all the points that when the judges are talking to you, you always have a cue card. You do your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hopefully, if you give you 5 points, you take those points because you have to. Your booklet is incomplete to us, but somewhere along the line it might still be in cyberspace. But try and put all the correction and complete your booklet so that you don't miss any details. So we don't have to ask you what was that, what is that, what is the sauce, where the component fit in, and what have you. So we do 1, 2, 3 step. 1. Your ingredients are prepped, cooked, and presented. Try and make sure you have those in those 3 steps so you don't have to worry about missing those. But overall, it was great watching you and great watching all the other students. Y'all did an awesome job for young students from grade 8 to 11.
I must say you choose some very unique items to be presented and plated. You came over the top with your waffle. It's something I experimented with a couple years ago, and I was kind of shocked to see it redone in a different way. There are a few things that I find that you need to do for next year in your competition. One is you need to put a menu inside your booklet.
Yes, sir.
You need to take, well, I don't blame you for this, but I'm going to get on your teachers for this. They're supposed to send this in with everything inside. So your menu should have been on the second page at least, or third page after your introduction for you. Your sources should have been named and done in a separate, in the back of your items. Your plate presentation, I must say, is very good. And for an 11th grader, trust me, you're on the level of Atlantis.
Ooh, thank you.
I could take that waffle. I could take that waffle and put that in any restaurant in Atlantis.
Thank you.
Your mise en place, I watched your setup. You were spot on the way you work, the way you set up, the way you control and had all your items in place. I saw you probably the only one I saw in this whole competition was using deli containers. And you had your items already placed. It looked like they were already labeled and everything.
Yes, sir.
On your rice, I felt you could have done much better with your sushi because the rice depends on the starch. And when you're doing sushi, basically they use an acid, like vinegar or marin, inside the rice. And what that does, it makes the rice stick. They mix it and it makes the rice stick. So once the rice stick, and you place it in a mold, and you place whatever fruit you want inside. Now, for me, the fruit should have been diced, even size, medium dice, and after you place the rice in, place that around, press those in, and put rice on top. Then take that mold. This is one of the reasons I see you couldn't get your item out. You have to place it back inside the refrigerator for a while, and then probably about half an hour, and then take it out. When you take it back out, it would set.
And we are signing off from 4 intense days of competition, but the question remains, who will come out on top? Whose dish will stand head and shoulders above the rest? The judges' scores are in, and we'll be back with the finale of the 28th annual and 29th annual Bahamas Young Chef competition, where we'll crown our winners. I'm Ayanthea Ferguson. See you next time for the award ceremony.